Known for his fiery rhetoric, keen intellect, and uncompromising truth to power stands, Malcolm X was a 1960s civil rights leader who became a hero to some and an enemy to others for his controversial views on black nationalism and for his by any means necessary approach to battling racial oppression. Now in the new film, The Lost Tapes, Malcolm X, the Smithsonian Channel documents the charismatic activist's tumultuous final years using rarely seen footage and audio tapes, including recordings made at the site and on the day of his assassination. Here's a look.
Let us remember that we are not brutalized because we're Baptists. We're not brutalized because we're Methodists. We're not brutalized because we're Muslims. We're not brutalized because we're Catholics. We're brutalized because we are black people in America. Go where the Uncle Toms are, and you'll find the house Negro. Go where the Negro leaders are, and you'll find the house Negro. And despite the anti-Muslim propaganda, the followers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad constitute the fastest growing religious group in the entire Western Hemisphere. So don't you be fooled by Kennedy. Don't you be fooled by these Uncle Tom Negro preachers. When the dog attacks you, you get that dog, two-legged dog or four-legged dog.
Do you consider yourself militant?
I consider myself Malcolm.
The Lost Tapes, Malcolm X, will be rebroadcast on the Smithsonian Channel Friday, March 2nd at 10 p.m. And joining us now to talk about the film and the legacy of Malcolm X is his daughter, professor, activist, and author, Ilyasah Shabazz. Ilyasah, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
It's great to have you here,
it's
really.
Great to be here.
So, Ilyasah, you were only 2 years old when your father was assassinated. In fact, you were at the Audubon Ballroom when he was assassinated, your pregnant mother covering up your body as the bullets flew. But obviously, you were too young to have direct memories of your father. I guess you depended on your mother to keep his memory alive, to keep him real for you. How did she do that, and how important was that in your family?
Well, I think it was very important to my mother. She wanted us to grow up knowing that our father loved us, that he didn't leave us, he didn't abandon us. And she kept him alive so we knew his humanity, we knew he had a great sense of humor, we knew his love and compassion. And, if we did good things, she'd say, oh, Daddy would be proud. Mm-hmm. And if we did something that wasn't that great, she would let us know your father would not approve. Mm-hmm. So, I just take off my hats to her because she did a phenomenal job safeguarding her husband's legacy and making sure that it would not be misappropriated in history.
But it was, and you said it was. You said that your father's character and work has been long inaccurately portrayed by some, and that his speeches and image have been misappropriated. What's the false impression that we have of your father, and who's responsible for that false impression?
Right. So my mother, thank God for her, she made sure that we understood who our father was. And, so much so that now that I'm a grown adult, older than the both of them, when my father was gunned down at 39, I am very clear on, who he was and what his work was geared towards. And that was, looking at the social climate that existed. Let's analyze that. Let's look at that and not just put Malcolm's response and reaction to the injustices around him. Right. So that Malcolm was not this person walking around angry. He was a man of love. He was a man of compassion. He was a very religious person. Right. And it's usually his reaction to the church bombings, the lynchings, the psychological trauma that fellow Americans endured generation upon generation.
Yeah, I think the misrepresentation by a lot of people is that he was a hater,
right.
and militantly angry, wanted to burn it all down. And as you see in the film, and if you know anything about him, it really comes across in the film because it's only his words mostly, that he was a humorous, kind, gentle, and polite man.
Right.
Right?
Right. And even, in the beginning of the film, there's a part where the introduction of the Nation of Islam is in the late 50s, early 60s, and it says that young Muslims are taught to hate whites. And that wasn't the case at all. They were taught to love themselves because for so long, for hundreds of years, we were considered 3/5 human. So my father had a profound reaction to that. And had we addressed those issues 50 years ago when he put everything on the plate, on the table, we would not be where we are today.
I think the film makes very clear that your father was a brilliant, charismatic, caring, and thoughtful man, as he was, with a real capacity to change, to evolve philosophically, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But what it really makes clear is that he was unbelievably brave, fearless.
Yes.
What made him so fearless?
Well, again, being a devout Muslim, being a religious person, believing in God, having a value system, and such compassion for humanity and faith and believing that we really can get along.
But, as I think most of our viewers know, the Nation of Islam is what initially transformed Malcolm X from what he was, a pimp and a hustler, to the man that he became, the leader, the serious man that he became. But he broke with the Nation of Islam, or the Nation of Islam broke with him. Give us a summary of why that happened.
Well, I think, my father wasn't originally a pimp and a hustler. He was originally a son. He was a very good son. He was a brother. He had a father who was the president of a Milwaukee Western chapter of the Universal Negro Improvement Association during the height of Jim Crow and Great Depression eras. And his mother was the National Recording Secretary.
And when he was a young man, he wanted to be a lawyer, but
right.
His teachers told him, no, you can't be a lawyer.
Right. So when his father was lynched and his mother was put in an institution and his siblings, the family was torn apart. And so my father, obviously, symbolic for many young people, which systemically says, you can't aspire to be much, right? So, it speaks to the importance of the adults around them. Our children are in pain. We look at the inequities, we look at the injustices. Let's help them. It's our responsibility as the grown, forward-thinking, civilized adults to do so. So my father then, I think by society says, this is what you are as a young black, the word that was told him. And he went off the wrong path and fortunately found himself and was able to resort back to the foundation that his parents instilled. And so it speaks to the importance of...
So the Nation of Islam helped him do that, but then there was a deadly break. I mean,
Yes.
They ultimately killed him. What was that rift?
Okay, so when we look at a value system, and we see Malcolm's value system, he was by the book, he was very disciplined. And when he found out that here's this man that he's following, that he's told is the Prophet Muhammad, only to find that he's not the Prophet Muhammad, but that the Prophet Muhammad existed in the year 600, and that, he had outside relations. It devastated my father.
But we should say that he discovered, to his horror, that Elijah Muhammad was having children with teenage supporters of his.
Right, that he was having children with members in the organization. Yeah. And, young members. And yes, my father was devastated by that.
So your father, changed. He evolved at one point. Early in his career, we saw some of his speeches. He was contemptuous of the peaceful wing, the nonviolent wing of the civil rights movement. He said very harsh words about them. But then publicly he said, look, I've said a lot of harsh things about some people. I want to reconcile with them. They said harsh words about me. We should work together. We shouldn't fight. And he became a different man. What was the turnabout?
Okay, I don't know that he became a different man. I think that my father continually evolved. When we first learned of Malcolm X, he was in his late 20s. He was gunned down at 39, so he had 12 years to live his life and evolve and learn. And he did that in the public eye. And so I think, again, he was never a violent person. He had a profound reaction to the injustices. And we can't forget the lynching. You know, we can't forget all of these injustices that we see, the dogs, the fire hoses, unequal education, housing, health, all of these things. And so my father matured, right? But he was always compassionate. He was always a leader. He was always very, well-read, so that he could educate the masses on the things that we had been miseducated.
Well, Elias, thank you so much for joining us today. It's a wonderful film, and I hope a lot of people see it.
I hope so, too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The Lost Tapes, Malcolm X, re-airs March 2nd at 10 p.m. on the Smithsonian Channel. Please check your local listings for additional airtimes.